Be careful.
It's careful. And he sits uncomfortably. That's what stressed him out. That's what he got in a mood about.
What's about?
That's why he shouted at you.
What's that?
Because I did a one tar fire outside. One wheel peel.
No, I didn't shout at him.
And then I tried to touch him and he was like, no, actually don't.
Oh, you actually meant it then. He meant it.
Yeah, I know. I touched him anyway. Right.
Right.
So in the last episode...
Oh, he's grumpy. He needs a hug before you start.
Come on.
There's so much emphasis on me. Yep. 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 Okay. Yep.
Do you want one?
No.
So, in the last episode, we spoke about the fight between you two.
Poor man. What? Yeah, yod.
It was on a bouncy castle.
Wow.
That was a different.
Was that?
That was different.
Oh, okay. Spoke about a cop car, how it moved on to the Econoline van, and where it then took you.
Yeah.
To American cars, what was next?
The Econoline we happened across because it was nice. We were going to be a custom van, and then it didn't turn out that way. When we got the green light, we actually got the green light for this. Well, I think we're probably still building the Econoline.
Yeah.
And it was a case of find what you want to do that's different and quirky.
You were in Worthesey.
I was going to say,
No,
yeah.
I was bored.
Yeah, so I was in Worthesey, and I can't quite remember how it happened, but I certainly talking to Jay and Carl while we were out there, and the emphasis on them being more, the scene is quite vag heavy, but I think, or it certainly was at the time. It's shifted around a bit now. And at the time they were talking about doing more Jap cars themselves, and it led to us, I can't remember whether I'd mentioned to look at Jap cars or whether you were looking anywhere, whether they tied in, but I can't quite remember.
Yeah, so we knew we wanted to do a JDM car, we just didn't know what it was. So while Tom was in Worthesey, obviously we'll chat between us, I tracked down a few Jackson pickups. And we found a company up in Middlesbrough that import Japanese auction cars.
Yeah.
We went up to, again, like the Crown Vic, we went up to see a different one, which was an older one that had the mirrors on the wings, but it was a rock box. And this one was, and it was a slightly later model, which means it didn't have these sexier retro curves, but...
We shifted a couple of as stupid as it sounds, because we never show off the engine in here because it's a 1.2 powerhouse.
The big one.
But we shifted some nice little OEM Nissan company header bottles and oil filler
All the
caps
tricky bits have the Japanese logos on them.
Yeah, we shifted some across, didn't we?
So you found it?
Then we found it. We found one, and then expressed to Dale one that I'd seen in SEMA when I've been and fallen in love with. I forget the owner's name, but it's a white one, motorsport to hell, static, chunky tyres, white wall writing. I loved it. I was in SEMA that year, and I loved it then. And we tracked down the kit from 09 Racing. So there's a couple of options.
Yeah.
But this is the Hakotora conversion front end. So Pandem had just launched a kit, but it didn't do the Skyline conversion front end. So the 09 Racing kit is a complete conversion at the front. So it is everything that you see. There's the mounting panel for the headlight change, the grille, the duckbill splitter.
Rear arches, badges, the light surrounds, everything.
And what's nice about the kit when it turned up, it was all Nissan gaskets and Nissan seals and everything. So it was a really nice kit Mitchie sent over. Yeah, sorry, that's kind of jumped ahead. We kind of went for that because it's that conversion, isn't it? There's not many in the UK.
I guess you'd already had the idea of wanting to make it look like that before.
Well, it tracks back to, certainly with the Cop Car and with the Econoline, there's not many, if any. Certainly at the time we thought there hadn't been one. There's definitely one in the UK, maybe two, that sort of came the same sort of time as the kit and everything were landing. But we wanted something that was rare, different, fun. It's spacious.
Doesn't scrub at all.
Doesn't catch, no. Oh, hang on a minute. Feel the power? But representing our brand well, and the market that we built it for. So in this instance, the tuner world, but also the JDM side of stuff. I think we did a reasonably good job at doing that because it's mega cool.
Yeah, it was definitely my first delve into JDM.
Yeah.
I come from kind of hot rod and Volkswagen background, so to learn from Tom about the JDM scene and learn together about all this kind of retro, kind of cool stuff, and have the ability to make something that a JDM guy or girl would appreciate.
Yeah.
That was a challenge in itself, and quite enjoyed that.
There's a couple of things that we'd do differently together, even though I've got a reasonable JDM passion. Certainly chatting to Dale about it and doing things like the interior. So we went up to Cobra, and Cobra were kind enough to tell us that they'd make us whatever seat they want. And if anybody doesn't know, a shameless plug for the Cobra boys, they go from sheet to fully made seats. So they were happy to make us anything we wanted to go in here. A little bit disappointing for them because we picked a stock seat, a Nagaro, because it fitted in well with the motorsport theme and the big oversized seat. So we wanted to do something different with the internal. And I know this was a hot topic for us. Dale's twitching at the thought of it.
He wants to... Look at him! Yeah. He's so angry!
This probably out of the 3 cars was the biggest thing we fell out about. Or maybe no, the cop car interior was bigger.
No, I don't think we ever fall out.
No.
But
we don't
when it
talk
comes down to
fall out.
seats, we have such a different view.
Certainly with the JDM style of things, I wanted this thing to be as JDM as we possibly could be without it screaming.
You wanted stuff hanging out the
front. If we did the engine, we'd have the oil coolers. Don't worry. That's just because we've not done the engine. Look how stressed he gets. Look. Because Dale likes clean lines and nice things and visuals, which I totally get, the JDM isn't that, it's kind of anti that. So we actually went with, we were just looking at colour combos and stuff on the shelf and how we could do stuff different at Cobra. We were sat with Adam and he kind of pulled out, we've got the Porsche Pasha trim. And if anyone's seen it, psychedelic's the best way of describing it. It's a
trippy checkerboard.
Yeah, it's a mind messer, which I fell in love with straight away. But then obviously to not make it an off-the-shelf
we didn't want people to look at it and say Porsche Pasha.
Yeah. So Dale actually said that the compromise for Dale was to go even more twisted and actually twist the Pasha. So it's a 45-degree angle. With the Pasha it runs horizontal, but we've now got it running on the diagonal, which it couldn't be more jade. I know it's a Porsche seat trim, but I love it. It's crazy. It's mega inside. We get a lot of comments, good, bad and ugly about them, but that's the point of it. You know, it's a JDM car and it splits opinions. That's what it should do and represent. I think this has been the hardest build because it's been the most involved. The other 2 we've been lucky with paint changes, and I don't want to undo any of the work that all of the people have put involved in all of the cars, but this one was the hardest. You know, we pushed everyone to the limit time-wise. And with that, stresses. So I know that I was here till late o'clock with Phil many a night, and I know the lads down at Reflex were offered the kit up, it fitted well, primed it, and it warped the wing, so when they were bolting it up, they split. We had all sorts, when we needed a brake with this car, literally something broke. It pushed us to the limit every time.
So what modifications is it running currently?
So a custom tri-link rear end that Phil fabricated himself, measured up.
Phil from the install company?
Phil from the install company. Sweet. Created, running full airlift hardware and software. So it's the 3P management, which is all custom made. Phil basically gave us the measurements. I think we reasonably stock fronts, if I remember right. I can't remember what from, but
all the work goes into the rear.
Oh, yeah, all the work goes into the rear, and it's fully fabricated and designed in Phil's magnificent brain that I still can't figure out how it works. So I think originally, in my mind, this would have oil coolers out the front and we'd have a big power engine in it. On paper, this has had every engine conversion in it because we've changed our minds and tweaked and twerked and done everything with it, but now it's as it is. It doesn't need it. It's got the 1200. We spoke about carbing that engine.
If we're going to do anything, it'll be a period correct little kind of street mod.
We did originally have graphics, so Psycho Graphics designed us a big Meguiars graphic, so all the other have been subtly branded. This was a JDM opportunity to brand it massively. We were around it for quite a while like this, and I think both of us fell in love with it. I think one night I'd text you saying, I need to talk to you about something, and you were like, oh God, what? I was like, the graphics.
Yeah.
And we both agreed, like, just run it how it is.
Doesn't need it. I mean, we've got the graphics on the centre caps and nothing that.
Again, it's that whole subtle
and it's the colouring,
thing.
you know, with the yellow centres. That we've got Meguiars well positioned on the back of the seat. It's and the gold class tin. TC Customs happened overnight. in one of the many late nights here, right before Players Classic. The original gator was a rubber gator that had split and had cracked and was broken, which got taken off and thrown away, of course, because we're going to replace it. I think he might still be stressed about the fact that I had to improvise and stole.
You destroyed one of my waxes.
I didn't destroy the wax itself, just the case, just the lid. And it works well.
And what's a lid between friends, right?
Right. So I'd cut one of those up and put that
Well, I put that in there.
Right. Was there another TC custom on this? There wasn't, was there?
Yeah, the beer mat in the rev counter.
The beer mat and the rev counter. So originally I bought the pound Strongbow beer mat to be the gear gator, which didn't arrive in time. Of course not. That's why we were stuck with the last minute.
10.
And then there was a rev counter that was just Larry Lash bolted in externally into like an aperture for it, and I'd had the clown beer mat sat on my desk for God knows how long, and I don't know what made me do it, but I think I don't know why I was fiddling. It was probably a Friday afternoon.
Yeah. I was detailing it for a photo shoot, and then you came down and...
I hacked it to bits, didn't I?
Yeah.
Don't mind me, I'm taking it to bits, so I think that probably stressed you out as well.
No.
There's a yin and yang, isn't there?
It's chaos and the calm, I call it.
I don't think you're chaos.
I think everyone knows. I am.
More like Tom and Jerry. No, it didn't work.
Can you dub in? Like tumbleweed.
Yeah. This is a good amount of talking, so we should probably shut up about it now.
Cool. Okay.
But I love it. Like, I think it's hard now, decision-wise, to choose between the three cars. Which one's your favourite?
They're all so different.
Each one is different. Each one's got a different story. Each one's got a different way about it, different look, and I think it's wicked.
Do we now talk about?
Yeah, I guess.
Fight Club?
I feel like it should be the Fight Club, innit? You're right there, mate.
Well,
I've got angry fists.
Right.
You should never say the phrase "angry fists" ever again.
Fight. That's kind of why
I guess that's why you're sat here.
That's why we're sat here.
That's why you keeping us behind every day.
That's why you keep us late.
Well, every day is a strong
It'd
term.
be good if you could do it in work hours, mate, because if you didn't work in the work hours,
Sure,
you wouldn't have to stay late.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of talk. There was a joke. I think it probably came up over the discussion that we were having on the interior for this. And I think he probably joked something along the lines of, if you two continue going to, as a joke, fall out, then we should probably just do Tom versus Dale. But that's not a bad idea.
Yeah, so instead of two idiots working together on one car,
We've got
Two idiots working on two cars.
Two cars.
We're both car enthusiasts. We both come from different backgrounds with cars and influences, whether that's food and music and everything. So that leads us, whilst we're both car guys, we're both into different stuff, and I think the compromises through these, they work well. But having a Tom versus Dale, it's a real, we've compromised. We've agreed on a budget that challenges us. Right, it's not an endless budget. It really pushes us both. But there's two different opportunities here, so.
And it allows us to express ourselves. And yes, these have been grown. We've put some little touches in them, but theoretically, they're for Meguiars and they're representing Meguiars. These are representing us. Yeah, man. You could have some cheesy game show music, some fake. Huh? Someone to find out.
Cliffhanger.
Again.
Oh.
Thanks, guys.
Back in the room.
You're back in the room. Right.
Right, is that it?
Yeah, that's it. That was
Go home now.
almost 25 minutes of talking, so well done. You bored me to death.
Go home?
Yeah.
Go home.
Yep, you can go home.
Thank you. Cheers. Goodbye.
Stupid.
I'm not running because I haven't run for many years because I don't need to.
Act natural.